During games, this player drank, did drugs, had sex in between innings, dealing with a sex addiction, went to prison, and was diagnosed with cancer, and never had it easy.
All of a sudden, I really still can't get out of this dark hole, because there is a real dark hole and a dark tunnel that people go through.
Daryll Strawberry went through everything at each stage of his life.
I didn't have a father. My father rejected me, and, it was a broken relationship. He left the family for dead, and coming home for the last time, pulling out a shotgun, said he wanted to kill the whole family. He was gone, and my mother raised us right, and she raised us under good principles.
The place he grew up, well, it was no better. He spent all of his time on the playground playing his sport, baseball. Daryll was great. He made the varsity team as a sophomore.
When I was 14 years old, I just put it in my heart, and I told my sister one day, I said, I'm going to the pros. Yeah, right, you're going to be playing baseball like those guys on TV. I said, yes, I will one day be playing baseball just like those guys. And I'm talking about the fact of growing up in the ghetto and brokenness and loss and emptiness and everything around you, gangs, drugs, street crimes and everything, and you make a decision that this is what you're going to do.
Through it all, he looked up to one iconic player more than anyone.
And his name was Pete Rose. I saw his uniform, and it was always dirty. And I said, that's what a baseball player looks like. I said, that's what I want to do one day. I want to be a baseball player.
Rose has more hits than any other players in Major League history. He was great, but he as a person famously gambled, had allegations against him, and dealt with controversy, similar to Daryll, which I found quite interesting. As a child, Daryll was filled with anger. At one moment, the varsity coach told him he'd be disciplined for lack of hustle, so his reaction was to give up and quit the team. He came back a year later, and the rest was history.
Mets draft Daryll Strawberry first overall.
I remember them getting him out of class and saying, you've been selected #1 in the draft. I said, okay. And they said, you're going to the New York Mets. I said, well, where the heck is New York at?
As the first pick in the draft, Strawberry had unfathomable expectations.
He was supposed to be the next Ted Williams.
When Strawberry was in the minor leagues, his talent shined. He reached the MLB level in 1983, and this is when the world would become familiar with Daryll Strawberry.
I never dreamed like this. I never thought I'd be in the majors at such a young age.
All that was left for Daryll to prove was that he could hit major league pitching. If there are any doubters, the answer came today when the Mets outfielder was tabbed the National League Rookie of the Year.
The Mets rookie sensation hit nearly 30 homers on top of almost 20 stolen bases.
Swings it, it's a high fly ball deep to right field, way up off the roof. It hit the roof. It hit the roof of Olympic Stadium, bounced down into right center field. It is a home run.
We wanted him to be Willie Mays, Mickey Mantle, Paul Bunyan, Jesus Christ.
People placed high expectations on a Daryll, and it was his job to deliver. But before I get into that, I want to give a huge thanks to our sponsor, Courtyard. Growing up, I was pretty big into collecting slabs of players that I absolutely loved. Back in the day, nothing was better than ripping packs, but now, scalpers are taking them off the shelves before we even have a chance to buy them. And that's where Courtyard comes in, a much more reliable place to actually buy your favorite cards and open packs. Just earlier today, I pulled a former Dodger and Luis Rodriguez out of my very first Courtyard pack. And they immediately gave me an instant guaranteed buyback offer of $76, like they do for any card you pull. All of their cards are slabbed, graded, vaulted, and one click away from your doorstep or from being digitized to sell your card worldwide. They're pioneering the next generation of commerce through gamified shopping, aka bringing back our childhood in the best way, so don't miss out. Right now, you can claim an exclusive discount for 15% off by using my code PURELY15 at checkout on your first Courtyard purchase. Thank you to Courtyard for sponsoring the video, but let's get back to it. Through the pressure, life was getting so much harder for Daryll Strawberry. And the guys he was around made it no easier, as according to him, roughly half the players on the Mets were consistent drug and alcohol abusers. In the middle of that lifestyle was an awful 1983 Mets team.
Veteran players that were done, and they didn't really care about winning. It was a business to them, and I didn't understand that at the time, and we was not the Mets, we were the Mutts.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought they'd go anywhere anytime soon. And in weird Mets fashion, everything changed, and it was thanks to a pitcher by the name of Dwight Gooden. He was 19 years old, but Gooden broke records in his rookie season, even striking out Strawberry's idol, Pete Rose.
Dwight Gooden, the 9th teenager to play for the New York Mets, and the 3rd youngest pitcher the Mets have ever had. Dwight is the youngest player in the National League, 19 years of age.
We went back-to-back Rookie of the Years. So now we're headed in the right direction.
Yes, they had superstars, but nobody saw 90 wins coming in 1984, the highest number in over 2 decades. But it's important to remember that with success comes anticipation. When dealing with anticipation, you face pressure. And for both Gooden and Strawberry, this was merely the beginning of the hardest part of their lives, which all started with 1985. All season long, all that Strawberry wanted was to win their division, beat the Cardinals, and win a World Series.
And the Cardinals beat us out that year. And the Cardinals, we could not stand the Cardinals. We hated the Cardinals.
In their home opener in New York City, the rivalry began.
Another breaking ball, and this could be the ball game. Deep to left, out of here. Gary Carter, a game-winning home run in the bottom of the 10th inning, and the Mets win on opening day.
As for Daryll, he was seemingly in his prime, his best season. But unfortunately, a thumb injury sidelined him for over 40 games, costing the Mets a lot of wins. By the time he came back, the rivalry was tight between the team. As they reached their final days, the Mets trailed the Cardinals by many games, but Strawberry refused to let it end without a battle. But it ultimately ended in favor of St. Louis. No matter how it ended, they were the second best team in Mets franchise history, winning 98 games, a complete upgrade from their past.
In the 70s, being a Mets fan was not the happiest of times.
It was kind of like, who are the Mets?
Managers came and went, players came and went, but a core was being built.
The past was over. This era had a chance to do something special in '86, and falling short the year prior was their inspiration.
Because we were bitter, we lost in '85 to the Cardinals.
That bitterness was the step towards a new era of Mets baseball, one where they pissed off everyone, played with heart and swag.
Well hit, way back, deep center field. Daryll Strawberry has done it again.
The game ended in an historic walk-off homer, keeping up at an electric pace.
The Mets have won 7 in a row. They're spreading the news that they are right now the dominant team in this game.
By the end of the season, Daryll's Mets won over 100 games. And thanks to his leadership, they were better than ever before.
We would come back that next year, that '86 year, and we just dominated.
Things started to pay off as they entered into the National League Championship Series for the first time in their existence. Their opponent, the Houston Astros, had been a season-long rival that they were constantly in deep games with. And that's when Daryll was at his best.
High fly ball, hit deep to right field, way back, maybe, going, gone, home run!
Let's go Mets! Tonight's the night!
Early in the game, the Mets were down 3-0 with hope lost. But as they drew a few hits together, everything changed.
Strawberry will try to score. Here's the throw coming to the plate. He scores! The Mets have taken the lead. Line drive, base hit to right field. Strawberry may have trouble scoring. The throw is coming in, won't get him. The run is in. Knight to second base. The Mets are in front, 5-4.
With the lead in the 9th,
the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss! Swing and a miss! Struck him out! Struck him out! Mets win it! The Mets have won it! They're in the World Series!
Daryll Strawberry was en route to his first World Series ever through all of the adversity, through the hardship. You'd think we're getting to a happy ending, but I promise you, this World Series isn't even the beginning.
Down the pitch, ground ball to second. Tuffle has a go between his legs. Strawberry picks it up. Here comes Rice. Throw coming to the plate to Carter, not in time. Throw to second, not in time. Red Sox lead.
So everybody goes, what's wrong with the Mets? They've had this great year, and now they get to championship game and they're faded. They choked out. I think we were just overly tired.
Only one team in MLB history had ever won it all after being down 2 games. But the Mets were determined to become the second. So they started playing their best baseball all the way to the end.
Swung on, hit in the air to right field. Fairly deep, Evans going back at the wall. Goodbye, home run! Daryll Strawberry! He struck him out! Struck him out! The Mets have won the World Series! and they're jamming and crowding all over Jesse Orozco. The dream has come true.
Daryll Strawberry, the victim of a crappy childhood, became champion, defying the odds, an all-time high of success with a team that knew how to win.
You can have the best team. You can spend all the money you want on a team. It does not guarantee you're gonna win. And I think a lot of people don't understand that.
The team rode off this high for as long as they could, but something was off. You see, the day after winning it all, New York City was throwing a parade in honor of this legendary team. On a day that was supposed to be special, it surely wasn't for everyone. Daryll's teammate Dwight Gooden, the former Cy Young winning pitcher, went missing during the parade. The reason, well, it's worse than what anyone could have imagined. What he told his team was that he simply overslept, but in all reality, he said, "Here I am in the projects in a drug dealer's apartment with guys I don't even know, with drugs in the house watching it." He said it's a horrible feeling. As for Daryll, he wasn't doing great himself. Months after the championship win, he was accused by his wife of breaking her nose after a game and threatening to kill her on several occasions while intoxicated. So unsurprisingly, she filed for legal separation. It became apparent that after years of being around others who partied on the Mets, he was becoming the very person he sought to never become.
I said I would never be like my father, but I ended up being just like him.
On the field, he showed a lack of care for his teammates or his team. He was fined money because he showed up late to spring training. With a career high in homers, RBIs, batting average, OPS, so much more, he was a very good player, was only 25, but he was destroying his life.
A baseball uniform does not make you a man. It just makes you a baseball player. And I think too many people don't understand that with athletes.
I don't think the New York Mets front office appreciated Daryll Strawberry for the last 7 years that I've been there, and it's been a real tough situation to go through.
Daryll told people that when his contract expired, he'd like to sign with the Dodgers. So as he went into his final year, he was a nuisance nearly every damn day. March 1st, he says he'll leave the Mets camp if his deal isn't negotiated. March 2nd, Daryll tries fighting his teammate Keith Hernandez and walks out of camp mad about his contract. March 3rd, he skips a mandatory workout and is fined again. On the field, he was getting noticeably worse as well.
3-2 pitch. Swung on, missed.
He came home after clubbing all night. He was arguing with his wife. She hit him with a metal rod in the ribs. He pulled out a gun and hit her on the roof of her nose. Days later, he checked into rehab for his alcohol problem. He got out in time for the start of the 1990 season, where he looked like his old self again, hitting 37 homers. The Mets wanted Daryll back, but ended negotiations after he rejected a 3-year deal worth $9 million. And just like that, he hit free agency and went elsewhere.
I went on moving and left New York. I never thought I would leave New York, but I did.
The decision where he wound up? Back in LA. His contract was 5 years, $20 million. It was a huge deal. LA fans hoped he'd be great, but then something came up. 91, crashed into a wall in the outfield, giving him a bad shoulder. 92, herniated disc, limiting him to just 42 games. The future of his career was in limbo. He didn't know if he'd ever be the same player. And while going through all of that, living in LA was getting to him.
Hollywood is different, those parties and girls, and you get in the middle of those, you're gonna get tied up into some things.
Mentally, the guy was losing his mind. He went home one day and physically struck the woman he was living with. Only a month after that situation, the season started. And Daryll was nowhere to be found on game day. The guy was completely missing. His wife didn't know where he was. His agent had no idea. With this happening, the Dodgers were fed up and he'd eventually be released.
Daryll Strawberry has admitted having a substance abuse problem and has requested assistance, and the Dodgers are seeking treatment.
He got out of rehab in May, no longer a Dodger. But only a month later, the Giants came calling and he signed with them. It wasn't until 95 that he messed up by failing a drug test on consecutive days. With all the baggage, it seemed he'd never have a chance to play in MLB ever again, until...
The New York Yankees are hoping that one-time slugger Daryll Strawberry will help them leap out of the division cellar.
When he was on the field, he was pretty damn good, but at the end of the year, they let his contract expire as he hit free agency. He signed with a team in the Independent League until July that year when the Yankees brought him back. Daryll's biggest impact came in the ALCS, one series away from a World Series.
And he may have done it again. If it's got the height, it certainly has the distance, and it's into the bleachers. And maybe more. Deep left, way back. And just over the wall for the second homer of the night for Daryll Strawberry. And now this one is driven to deep center. Brady Anderson back to the track. Goodbye.
The crazy part is earlier that year, his mother and lawyer both died. Two people he was extremely close with and dedicated his season to.
Well, did you ever think you'd be talking about Daryll Strawberry's defense in a World Series? He's come up with some big plays, a sinking, hooking line drive here. Once again, uses that great reach to make a nice sliding catch.
The Yankees are champions of baseball.
He made a comeback story of the ages. In '98, he re-signed with the Yankees, and the rest was history.
To deep center. Damon going back, looking up, and this ball is gone. A grand slam home run for Daryll Strawberry.
He played the entire year and had his best season in about a decade. On October 1st, the playoffs were about to begin, but not for everyone.
A colonoscopy was performed today on 36-year-old Daryll Strawberry of the New York Yankees. Biopsies confirmed cancer of the colon.
I realized that I'm dealing with a disease that, people catch all the time, and it's unfortunate, like I said, that, that I have to be in this position. But, you got to stand strong, and you just got to believe in what you believe in.
Possibly the scariest moment of his life. As the Yankees fought in the postseason without him, they did the unthinkable.
Brocious, fittingly with a throw, and the Yankees have done it again. Number 24. They are the world champions of baseball in 1998.
One game 4, Derek Jeter and a few of the guys got on the phone and called him, and they were all together to celebrate. They weren't in the same room. But
on parade day, he was there. That same month, he had a surgery that removed the cancerous tumor that doctors believe hadn't spread, only for them to find out 6 days later that it had gone into a lymph node.
This is a great challenge for me. I mean, it's a bigger challenge than hitting the home run, a bigger challenge than playing in the World Series. But, I enjoy facing those type of challenges in my life.
He'll be back better than ever next year. Number 39, Daryll Strawberry.
During '99 in spring training, he was going through chemotherapy while playing the game that he loves until a few weeks later.
Yankees outfielder Daryll Strawberry arrested late Wednesday night in Tampa, Florida, and charged with soliciting for prostitution and possession of cocaine.
Over the following months, he was suspended, pled guilty for all of it, resulting in 18 months of probation. He was reinstated into MLB, but had to wait out a 120-game suspension. Daryll came back to a team, making another playoff run.
Hard hit down the right field line, curling into the corner, it's gone.
How it ended was even better.
A pop in the shallow left. The New York Yankees, world champions, team of the decade, most successful franchise of the century.
Grateful for the entire Yankee organization and Mr. Steinbrenner giving me the opportunity to come back, and Joe wanted me back, and just the guys wanted me back on the team. Well, I thought it was really cool because I got a chance to laugh at a lot of reporters that said I couldn't play.
When they brought him on stage to talk, he couldn't do anything but cry.
I'd just like to say to Joe, thank you for caring for me, and I love you guys.
Going into 2000, it'd likely be the final year of his career. I wish that could be the end. He was suspended for all of 2000 because of a cocaine-positive test in spring training. Daryll said, "Life hasn't been worth living for me. That's the honest truth. I am not afraid of death." He said that he couldn't end things because of his 5 children. He started to look at them and realized it wouldn't be fair. Daryll preached, "I am an addict. I go out and use drugs. I figure the drugs may kill me." In the coming months, his former teammate Dwight Gooden retired from the game of baseball, And on that same day, this happened.
On the day Dwight Gooden retires, Daryll Strawberry is in trouble again. Authorities in Tampa say there's an arrest warrant out for Strawberry, who left a drug treatment center where he had been serving 2 years house
Daryll
arrest.
Strawberry has been located. Daryll Strawberry is in a Tampa hospital. Daryll Strawberry is also in custody.
In February 2002, George Steinbrenner offered a job to Daryll Strawberry with the Yankees as he entered remission from cancer and was set to finish his drug treatment in May. A happy time, finally, until news broke that same day that Gooden was arrested for drunk driving. Neither of these guys could get their lives together. Daryll was months away from this job, but messed it all up by getting kicked out of his treatment. He broke rules such as intercourse with a resident, smoking. Because of that, he was sentenced to prison where he did 12 months.
I had a lot of rock bottoms, but the real rock bottom was in the Florida State Prison with a T17169 because of addiction.
Life was never easy for him, behind bars or not.
I was never well. Had I known how good I was, had I ever been well on the inside, there is no telling what kind of baseball player I could have ended up being. All of a sudden, I really still can't get out of this dark hole, because there is a real dark hole and a dark tunnel that people go through.
Despite everything, he still made it into the New York Hall of Fame.
You know, the broken life and, having cancer twice and losing my left kidney in my second surgery, and going through addiction and all these things, but still putting on the uniform and being able to excel at the highest level, because I can tell you one thing, I knew myself better than anybody else knew me. And I knew how great I was when I put the uniform on.
In my hometown of St. Cloud, Florida, he actually opened a rehab center that I had a close family member go to, and I had no idea, but I actually went there to visit that family member. And crazy enough, my family member actually got to meet Daryll Strawberry at a dinner. This video has been awfully personal, and I really hope it's meant a lot to you like it has for me. If you could support the channel by subscribing, liking, commenting, all of that, it would mean a lot. Thanks for watching.